This is an intro to physics 250, matter and energy. So when you open up the Blackboard Physics 250, all right, so this is true for all the sections. The first thing to notice is, this is the opening screen. You have your chapter challenges. This is the material for test 1. Obviously, this is test 2 material, test 3 material. Here's my office hours down here. Let me just go over that real quick. The office hours, my office is Sims 213A. It's on the same side as the lecture room, kind of in the middle of the second floor. My office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays from 1 o'clock to 1:50, and then Tuesday from 12:30 to 1:20. You can also make an appointment with me, or even contact me through FaceTime or Skype. There's information down here about how to find me on Skype. And if you want to do that, you probably need to email me first, so that I know to look for you on Skype. All right, so some of this stuff you won't see after the first day. For example, there's no reason to look at test 2 material right now or test 3 material, so I'll be hiding that. So let's take a look. First of all, there's 2 things that need attention. One is these online chapter challenges. Those are it's 25% of your total grade. I'll show you all that in just a minute. And then there are homeworks. These chapter challenges are weekly. Well, they're not exactly weekly. The week that we have a test, and of course as you can see, there's 3 tests. But those weeks that we have tests, there will be no chapter challenge. That I've already, set up the schedule and everything. You'll see that in just a moment. And let's just open up. Well, I guess I should open up the chapter challenges first. And I'm going to leave all of these, open. I'm not going to hide them. And you can see there's the due date of the first chapter challenge. Basically, what you do, these are pretty much self-contained part. This is the the hybrid part of the class, the 25% of the class, which is the hybrid, completely online. So if you open up this first chapter challenge, here's the actual chapter challenge itself. When you click on that, it'll go to a page where you're basically answering some questions. Some of them are multiple choice, some of them are actual calculations, and I include, like, for example, put 1 place past the decimal or 2 places past the decimal. I try to be very clear about that. So with the first chapter challenge, here are the videos. These are the original videos in MP4 format. They're kind of large. So what I've done is I've put them on YouTube, and these are links to YouTube for all the videos that I have in this folder right here. This is just a file about metric prefixes, which I go over a little bit on the first day. So you're supposed to watch these videos and use them to help you with the chapter challenge. Oops, sorry, right there, the chapter challenge. All right, so let's go back, and you can see you have 10 chapter challenges. There's the last one. The last one is a little bit different. Each of these chapter challenges, 1 through 9, is worth 100 points. Chapter challenge 10 is kind of a final for these chapter challenges. These different chapters in the book that we're going to just be covering online. So this one's worth twice as much, but you get more time to do it, as you'll see. This one's due November 9th, the last chapter challenge 9, and then after that you have till the last day of class to do chapter challenge 10. All right, very good. So let's go back to our home page. All right, and let's take a look at our tests, or just a sample of test one and lecture material. So this is everything. Notice here's the date for the first test. If you go down to the bottom, let's see. Now some of this stuff you guys won't be able to see. Like this is for the springtime. Obviously, we don't have Martin Luther King's birthday in the fall, but we do have Labor Day, and so that's just showing you that. Here's the first day for sections 001 and 002. 003 we've already met. Anyhow, so here is the first homework set. So this is how I use Blackboard. I've been using it this way for many years. You'll actually turn in all your homeworks on Blackboard. So you'll go to the folder for homework 1. I always include a Word document. Now you do not have to you don't have to use this Word document. Well, all the Word document does is it just has this information on it. I'm going to go ahead and open. So here's that Word document. I just opened it up, and notice it just has the exact same information. These are the problems from the textbook. Notice this is the first one includes just group 1 parallel exercises. There are also going to be a little bit later homeworks will have what are called questions for thought. These are pretty much just simple problems, 1 maybe 2-step problems mathematically. And the nice thing about Group A ones is that the answers are in the back of the textbook. You will have some Group B ones where the answers are not included, but that's just to kind of for you to basically figure out where you are in the class. I always go over the parallel exercises. I always go over the homework, I should say. All right, so let's get back to this. All right, so like I said, you don't have to do this in Word at all. You could, because I provide this. One of the, if there are math problems, a lot of people like to do that by hand, and that's perfectly okay. One of the things that you could do, that people like to do is, let me show you how you turn it in, whether it's in Word or whether you submit a JPEG or a PDF file. It doesn't really matter. So the way that you submit it is you'd click here where it says homework, the homework 1 underline, and see here it is. You just go here and you say, for example, browse my computer. Maybe you put it on the desktop. Whether it's the file, the Word document that I provided where you did the work on that, or whether you did it by hand, and maybe let me talk about that. If you did it by hand, and it's just on a piece of paper, you could either take a picture with your cell phone. That's perfectly acceptable, and then you somehow get the JPEG to a desktop of some computer. Click browse my computer. I usually put it on the desktop here, and it'll be on the desktop. Let's see. I don't, let's say you're submitting this. I don't even know. This is a Word document. I think something my son was working on. Anyhow, suppose I was submitting that. See, it comes up, and then here's the really important part. Okay, you must, when you're submitting anything, whether it's homework, whether it's an essay, whether it is the chapter challenges, you must click this submit button. Now, I'll click it, but it won't let me actually submit anything, whatever that silly file was that I just selected. See, it won't actually let me do it because that's, not my role in the class. All right, but that's the way you do it. It's the same way that you would upload a file in any Windows format. All right, so there's that. So the homeworks are due the next class period, the next time that we meet, and they're always due at 2 o'clock. That's because I'm going to go over the answers for the homework, starting with the 2 o'clock class, and so that's the time that they're due. Let's see, let's go into the syllabus and schedule. So here they are. Again, here's my office hours, here's my email, and so forth. Probably email is the best way to get a hold of me, by the way. And I go by TJ. You can call me Professor Lipinski if you so desire. Some people don't like being informal. Anyhow, let's see here. I think I already have. Where's Word? Here it is. I think I already have the syllabus. Yes, I already opened it up. So here it is. There's my office hours once again. This is the fact that it's a hybrid class. It's actually a 4-unit class. The chapter challenges are the online portion. Okay, the book is Tillery, Physical Science. I'm using the 10th edition, which is a little bit older edition, but I'm still using it. All right, I'm not going to go. Notice the chapters that are in yellow are covered in the chapter challenges. And let me make sure that this is clear. That the chapter challenge chapters are on their own, pretty much except for chapter 1, because chapter 1 stuff, which is like conversions and things, will be used in the lecture part of the class. But I'm not going to ask, like wave motion and sounds or this stuff down here, which is mostly astronomy. That will not be during, on any of the 3 tests. So the 3 tests that are part of the lecture part of the class, basically they go in 3s. So the first test is chapters 2. Oops, went a little too far. Chapters 2, 3, and 4. The next test 2, would be 6, 7, and 8, and then the last test is 9, 10, and 13. And let's scoot down. And make sure you bring a calculator to class each time. That's important. What else? Let's see. I'm going to come back to this idea about the written component, which is basically the 2 essays. There's the homework. Make sure you're turning in your homework each time. Generally, each question counts as 2 points. And you'll see the point totals as you do the homework. I do have a late policy. Let's see, where is that? The late policy basically says that you have a week to turn in any late work, not just homework, any late work, chapter challenges or essays, those things that you're turning in onto Blackboard. And if you, here's the late policy. If you submit anything past a week, and if sorry, let me go back a little bit. For everything that you turn in within 1 week, you get half the points. So if it was like a 20-point homework set, the maximum you could get would be 10 points. And anything beyond 1 week, unless you have documentation that says there's no way you could have done the homework, then you get a 0 on that. Okay, and I think that's pretty fair, especially for people who've turned in the homework on time. Let's see. I do take attendance, so I follow the normal Winthrop policy. You have to be in class 25% of the time that we have. Generally, that's about per semester. It's about 8 classes that you can miss with just no excuse whatsoever. Now, if you do have an excuse, you give that to me, and that won't count against you. All right. Make sure you don't miss any test dates. If you do, you better have an excuse or documentation that can prove that. I'm going to continue on the next video.